Listen on the Horn. On thehorn.com.
Are we live? Oh, I can hear myself now. You guys can hear yourselves?
I don't know that. Yep.
Yep.
Everybody can hear themselves?
It's a wonderful thing.
Hey, but we do have to turn the volume up on the board because I'm still getting people saying, they can't hear us on the site themselves.
All right.
So let's crank that up on the board a little bit. I don't know why, but, we're going to try and figure that out. All right, let's wait for our introduction and let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight at Wine Talkin' Fun. Hosted by Chris Didden, we're brought to you by Gateway Financial Group, Sandits Travel, Shipper Technologies, Budwitz and Mayajack CPAs, Deepwater Seafood of Avon, and CentralCTDental.com. Take it away, Chris.
I'm worried about my teeth already, CT Dental, My teeth okay? My nose isn't because I got decked in
What
the...
happened, dude?
This is like, remember back in the 80s, anybody see the movie The Warriors?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, what's that clicking? And anybody can do that clicking?
Glasses, yeah.
Yeah,
it was actually beer bottles.
Oh, they were beer bottles.
Yeah,
The
beer bottles.
Warriors come out to play.
Oh, yeah.
Now, well, my son and I decided to play in the pool the other day and took out half my nose.
That's not good.
It's not.
What was he doing
Seriously,
with the beer
it's not. Yeah, really. It's not that good, but it looks styling. Come on, give me something. We got Elliot's ears, we got my nose, we got the hat, and we got your hair.
Or the suspenders.
I mean, come on.
Talking to you, baby.
We're not that bad, are we?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, everybody, there's a Band-Aid on my nose.
You got a De Niro-esque look.
You could
Nero.
just say it's a breathe
hang on
right
a second.
strip.
Let me fix my hair here. So how's that?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
talking
I'm
to
talking
me?
to you. I'm talking to you. Hey, we had a blast last week, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Last week was interesting.
we were drinking.
Yes.
We were drinking
Interesting.
French Sancerre wines.
Yes.
And we were comparing them to a lot of other wine. We were comparing them to different countries. We had an Italian, we had a New Zealand, we had an Australian, we had
And three French.
three French.
Right.
And I think the French lost.
No, the French definitely won.
Well, haven't they lost every war since? Or no?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Do you really have
Just
to bring
surrender.
that up?
Surrender.
We surrender. Everybody's waving the flags. Now,
National line? There is no line.
no, but didn't we kind of figure out that a Sauvignon Blanc is really kind of a Sauvignon Blanc, and kind of one of those wines that, it's all a taste factor.
I thought we all agreed that everybody liked the two Sancerres the best.
Yeah, I think we're right. I think you're right.
I think the
so
only
I'm
thing,
wrong.
I think the only thing we were unanimous on
Yeah.
was that
One of
Cloudy
those-
Bay was
Oh,
overpriced.
It's terrible,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody who's buying Cloudy Bay right now,
Please don't.
stick your head in the tank right now because
It was funny because the next morning, before I had really worked off that little bit of a headache, one of my salesmen walked in.
and he presented Cloudy Bay.
And he says, "I've got a white wine with me. That'll get rid of your headache." I said, "What is it?" Pulls a Sancerre out of his bag. I said, "Let's do it. I can still taste last night's."
Yeah, you got to go hair of the dog.
Well, you got to go hair of the dog. I mean,
Arf.
but we did prove that that a Sancerre should be a little bit acidic, a little bit of have that terroir, that rocky, flinty kind of flavor.
That Sansone.
Paul was saying chalk.
Yeah,
I never got the chalk, but I certainly got the ones that we really liked. There was a mineral characteristic to it.
a mineral characteristic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
what I was getting at with the sandstone.
Would-
What is the sandstone made up of minerals?
Right.
Basically. Just explaining myself.
Okay, everybody be quiet for a second because we're trying to figure out,
Why is
It's
David
been a
talking?
week and you're still defending this.
By the way, tonight we have David on, producer, because David's
Hello.
awesome and David does a great job for us. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
But Brian, I still cannot see my chat talk on my chat room on the board here.
In defense, we're having problems with the chat talk.
I can't get it up. Can you get it up on your iPad?
Yeah, I'm up and running.
Really? Oh,
Dang.
Okay, we have an iPad 3 or 4 or whatever, 5, 1500, whatever the number is.
I don't know.
But we have an iPad chat. We've got a chat room running up on one of the iPods here.
Okay, Elliot, you are now designated the chat master.
Are you going to teach me how to read between now and then?
Well, reading's part of the hard part, isn't it? But
Here,
usually we have our
my
chat
glasses.
board up. Brian, can you please get our chat boards up? Because we would really, really appreciate that if you could do that for us. We have with us tonight Brian Lee, who's bartender extraordinaire and bar manager over at Black Eyed Sally's, who actually catered to an interesting group this week. So you want to tell us about that?
There is a group that does a once-a-year event. It's a different city every single year, and it's a bunch of ministers and pastors from down south. And
Why would they come up here?
they just chose Hartford. I don't know how the group chooses things.
Humidity's not way up. I mean, it's not sweltering. It's
Normally by now it would be, though.
Yeah,
Remember
okay.
what last Thursday gave us.
Yeah, okay. Last Thursday was a good day. Okay.
But this is it's an older group, and they are a lot of fun.
Were they dancing?
No, they've been there at lunch mostly, and then they stayed through for the jazz last night and had a really good time. But it's a massive group, and the shuttle is bringing them by like every 15 minutes.
So you
And they're
guys,
getting
you're
off
serving a
30
lot
at
of
a
Southern
time.
fried chicken.
And we had no idea this was going to happen. No one told us about this event at
Really?
all. So I told Elliot before I walked into, it looked like a bomb blew up when I walked into the bar yesterday at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Really?
So we staffed up a little bit today, and we were a little more ready for it. So
In other words, you don't have the big rings under the eyes because you
No,
actually got some sleep.
well, I do. We plan.
The wonderful,
We plan for these
the
things.
wonderful thing about Baptists, though, is they eat.
Oh yeah.
They don't drink.
Well, here's the nice thing. They're all taking desserts to go,
Oh, nice.
and because there's microwaves in their hotel rooms, they're taking extra food for later on in the day.
Oh, very cool.
So they're loading up at lunch.
So the food.
Well, I got to tell you,
is
the food
Oh,
at Black Eyed Sally's is second to none.
Oh.
When you're looking for good barbecue, good brisket, all that kind of stuff, go to Black Eyed Sally's because that's where you want to go.
Good hot food. Hot, I mean,
yeah.
make you sweat in your dreams. Hot.
Yeah, but you're still wearing your coat, so you don't count.
I'm just one cool dude, man.
Once you take off your coat, then you're
I'm
one of
just
us.
one
Until you
cool
put
dude.
on your coat, you're the producer.
You never
dude.
see me sweat.
When you take
Oh,
off
that's
your
not true. You saw me sweat last week.
take off the coat, and then you're one of us. Otherwise, you're the
Yes,
producer,
sir.
dude. And then over to my right, we have Elliot Thomas from Sonoma Fine Wines. If you ever want to find a wine, if you ever want to find a booze, a spirit, a beer, somebody who knows what they're talking about.
And after tonight, I'm going to know about one more.
Yeah. Well,
That makes
I'm going
two
to get
of
into
us.
that in a second because this is going to be an interesting night tonight. But seriously, Sonoma Fine Wines down in Glastonbury, right across from Whole Foods. If you ever want to get something and you ever want to plan a party, you ever want to do something to that effect, go to see Elliot. Elliot's a bomb. He'll take care of you. All right. Last week, I said we were going to do scotch.
Yes.
And, if Brian can cue some music here on that one. I said we were going to do some scotch.
Hold on.
But
Tell me.
not you there, but Brian's going to throw some stuff
Well,
on here.
I needed to bring.
Oh. Okay, everybody hearing now what's going on there? Those are the pipers. It's kind of a dirge. It's not really an upbringing pipe, but it's a dirge.
Well, Amazing Grace. Come on.
Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
But it's a dirge. I'm not dying yet. Okay, maybe I am. I don't know. Somebody tell me something I don't know. But
According to our listenership,
according to our listeners, I'm already dead.
you're
But-
well preserved, lad.
I am. Well, obviously, I'm well preserved. But I said
So no scotch.
so. No scotch. Yesterday. Actually, was it yesterday or the day before, or was it today?
What?
You were talking
Was
with
it
someone.
yesterday?
I was talking. I was
You were
trying to talk
talking
to
with
myself,
someone.
and I was trying to figure things out. And I was planning because Brian Parker, our executive producer and owner and stuff like that. I try to give a spiel of what I'm going to talk about the week before. Unfortunately, I whether I had a brain fart, whether I just decided not to do anything, whether I was just brain dead, or I was busy with my business. I don't know.
These things are all.
They occur. So, Brian, unfortunately,
Potential.
I did not give you the pre-plan of the show tonight. I apologize. So tonight's going to be off the cuff.
I thought that was the plan.
That is a plan. Every show's off the cuff. But
It's better that way anyway.
But
As the producer
I
slowly sobs.
but so I had this issue. So I decided, it was so hot this last week.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and I would come home every night, from work and stuff like that, or every day from work, and at 5 o'clock, my wife would look at me and go, "Ding ding, it's 5 o'clock," and what does that mean? Cocktail hour, right?
I don't wait for 5 o'clock ever.
See, I try to. I actually try to wait for 5 o'clock.
There's an old saying, it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Yeah, but I own a
There you
wine
go.
business, and therefore, it's 5 o'clock too many times. So you have to kind of space that out a little
Okay.
bit.
I hear you.
So, my wife says ding ding, and it's 5 o'clock, and usually that means gin and tonic, a very small gin and tonic for Carolyn. Who, by the way,
Is the most fabulous wife in the world. Yes?
is sitting right now somewhere in front of Jimmy Buffett, having a blast, singing, Cheeseburger in Paradise,
Pirate looks at 40.
and rocking out and doing Margaritaville and all that kind of stuff. And I couldn't do margaritas tonight because we already did margaritas.
We did margaritas a few weeks ago, and I don't need another one of those nights.
Those were kind of brutal, weren't they?
It was a test of our endurance.
But so, the other day, actually, I was thinking about it, and I actually probably didn't make my decision until about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
This morning when I emailed you?
Yeah, that's probably when. I decided on gin.
Okay.
Now, gin scares the bejesus out of a lot of people.
Yep.
Hands are raised, everybody's sitting there.
Half the people in this room is
Half the people, actually probably 3/4 of the room, people in the
The
room.
record should reflect I did not raise my hand.
Thank you. Okay, so
am
half the
not
people in this
afraid
room are
of gin.
afraid of gin. The other half are not. Because there's so many different kinds of gin. It's kind of like vodka. It's kind of a different kind of cocktail.
It's an acquired taste.
I don't think so.
It can be. If you're drinking gin straight, it's definitely an acquired taste.
I'll start with a little story.
You have to like juniper berries. Just saying.
I'm not saying no. I disagree with you that right now on that
Okay.
because I got to tell you when I was back in my drinking age was 18 back then.
I remember that.
I'm way older now. But back then, I used to drink Bombay Sapphire on the rocks with a chunk of lemon, not lime, chunk of lemon, in a brandy snifter. Because I learned that we all learned from the last show that if I don't have a brandy snifter, sometimes they slip and they fall.
That's the purpose of it. That
Brandy
stem.
snifter, so it holds in my hand.
Yep.
And then a bar that I used to be part of.
Frequent.
In New York City. The guy ran out of Bombay Blue Sapphire, and he switched me on to Kettle One vodka. So I've been a Kettle One vodka drinker for a long, long time, but gin was my drink on the rocks for a long time.
Okay.
So tonight I decided that we should explore the different gins out there because gin is becoming like a vodka. There's 50 different gins. There's 50 different vodkas.
For me, the big difference is that vodka, they go in one of two directions. Either they want to be smooth or they want to be funky.
Right.
Like
Flavors.
loopy and dude and a new one, s'mores.
Wow.
S'mores.
Really?
Yeah.
That's just
Wow.
stupid.
I can tell you that
I haven't had it yet.
There is a bottle of Dude at my house.
Yeah.
Dude.
My wife loves Mountain Dew.
It is.
So there's a bottle of Dude at the house.
It's
What
my-
does that mean? Hang on a second. Tell me what a dude is.
It's Mountain Dew flavored vodka,
Yeah.
and all you do is add club soda.
You're kidding me.
It tastes
and it's
like,
like
Mountain
80
Dew and
proof.
vodka.
Yeah.
Dude.
And Mountain Dew and vodka is what got me through my finals every year at college. So a little
Are
bit
you
of
guys serious?
Oh God.
yeah.
There's a dude vodka out there.
And Loopy is Fruit Loop flavored vodka.
You're
Really?
kidding me.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm eating my cereal and I'm drinking booze.
there you go.
You can.
See?
Wow.
You can pour it over your cereal.
I'm not so sure you'd want to do that.
And we've already done
And
the
then
peanut
trust me,
butter
in
and jelly
college,
vodka,
I'm
so-
sure everybody's done that.
Now they have some really wild flavors out there, but for me, it's obvious. Like when you see whipped cream on the side of a bottle of vodka, you know what they're trying to make it taste like.
When I see whipped cream somewhere, I'm thinking of something else. I'm not thinking on a bottle of vodka. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I mean,
Brownie
are
sundae,
you really thinking
Market,
of
8:33.
are you really thinking of whipped cream when you see it on the bottle of vodka?
When a bottle of vodka says whipped cream.
Hey, Lauren, you better call me because you got to teach this man a lot of things, babe.
But
Oh boy.
back to track, I guess.
You know,
Producer help.
do you know why the Brits came up with gin and tonic as a drink of choice in
Can
warm
I have that
climes?
dirge again, if you don't mind, for a second?
Dirge.
Because the Brits went into India.
It
So-
wasn't just India. It was also
Where else?
the Caribbean.
But Caribbean was rum.
Yeah, but they developed a liking for gin and tonics. Why?
Actually, I don't think they. Well, the tonic was for the scurvy.
Wasn't
Well, that was the line, actually.
that was the line? It was for malaria.
The tonic was for malaria. The tonic was the other was for scurvy. Okay.
Yep.
But why the gin?
It went well with the tonic.
Let's bang that off for a
Vodka
second there.
tonics did not quite do it for them. And
Did they have vodka there?
no,
No, because they had port, they had sherry, they had wine, right? And then they
we're
had
talking
rum.
about India.
Well, and then they had sugarcane rum and stuff like that.
Right.
But India had a gin, right? Or no? Am I mistaken here?
Well, there's a reason why you had Bombay as a gin line. It was
because of the sugar cane and the sugar from India that they're growing.
well,
And weren't you an upper crust officer that had to have gin?
there were various spices that came from India, but the sugar cane was actually more from the Caribbean area. That's one of the reasons why.
You ever
they
watch
were so-
Gunga Din?
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
so
who
a
here has seen
fictional
Gunga Din?
movie
I have not.
Anybody here
is
seen?
going to be a historical base for you. Okay.
Hey, it had Rock Hudson in it, didn't it?
No, it had.
Oh, Cary Grant.
Cary
Excuse me.
Grant.
Excuse me,
For
Cary.
goodness sake!
For
get your
goodness
men
sakes, it was
correct.
Cary Grant. I'm sorry, but they had a drink called pink gin.
Yes.
And they all had this drink. You know, they would have the patio at 4:00 in the afternoon, and the servants or whatever you want to call them at that point in time, Gunga Din, would serve them this pink gin.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why at the end of the movie, when Gunga is actually in a uniform,
When he's dying, he's going pink gin, pink gin. No, sorry.
and you have Cary Grant saying, "You're a better man than I, Gunga Din."
You do that well.
Oh well, you know, I've been known to do certain imitations.
Really? You can do Cary?
I've been known to do that. Yes.
Very nice. but you know, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is where did gin come from? Because you know we've got we've got the Indian, you know, because
Gin.
I don't think in
believe.
England they drank a lot of gin.
Oh yes, they did.
Yeah, they did. Okay.
Yes, they did. As a matter
Tell me
of
about
fact, in the late 1600s, early 1700s, certain distilled spirits were cheaper to make. Gin was one of them. And so
Why?
they would have gin mills, and people just...
And that's where we got gin mills.
Mhm.
Okay.
And people, because it was cheap, would be getting faced in England off of gin, particularly
Bathtub gin kind of thing.
the lower classes. And so gin was seen as
One of those.
one of those drinks that both the elite and the lower classes would drink, but it was the lower classes that abused gin,
Okay.
giving gin its bad rep.
Speaking of
Elliot's got
abuse, I'm getting abused for not paying enough attention to the chat board.
Oh no!
Oh, there we go.
Your wife has been commenting. Gin came from bathtub booze in England,
Okay.
and it got the name Genever, which I read earlier. That Genever and the other word Juna something or other.
Juniper.
Yeah.
Well, no, but Genever and Juna something are French and
We hate the French. so
Belgian
it's
or
okay.
something like that for juniper. So it's just a flavor profile, but that's all she's giving me. I don't know why Tasha's yelling at me for not paying attention.
Excuse me for 1 second before I go any
Wait a minute.
further.
Why is your wife chatting with
No, not-
us?
No, not my
Oh,
wife.
oh,
No,
oh,
not my
Brian's
wife.
wife.
Brian's
Okay.
wife.
She loves
I
gin.
listen to my intuition, but I just get so wrapped up in the moment.
I'm going to bring that down.
Thank you. I
While
don't know
you
what the
figure
hell
that
that
out.
I
was.
don't know what that is.
All right. Well, first of all, we were going to have a special star with us tonight. Okay.
We
The preeminent, I will say, because those cupcakes were phenomenal last week. And apparently she made us some more cupcakes this week.
Oh, my God.
Because she thought we were having scotch tonight, and because I switched
Can
up
you
on
see
it.
that on the camera?
I got to tell you, Tasha, you
no,
got
actually,
to
you
let
gotta
us know the
take the
name of your
plastic
store
off.
again, because you rocked those champagne cupcakes last week. Were incredible.
Tasha, those were amazing.
You know,
If I wasn't married, I would be proposing to you.
Well, yeah, that and my wife said I wasn't allowed to make any pole jokes anymore
There we go.
because of the
Now we're good.
cupcakes.
We're good.
But you know I will, Tasha. So I mean, it's all good fun. So please, please keep sending food into us because we love you. Couple things happening tonight. Okay, first of all, if you want to call us, which number are we calling on?
It's the public.
The
That would
hotline
be
number?
860-266-HORN. That would be 266-4676.
So that's 860
266
266
4676.
4676. Because I'm dyslexic, or
We actually have it on our little.
Do we
screen.
really?
Yeah.
People can actually look at that.
Yeah.
They can call us in.
if they're so inclined.
And if we had our board up, we could actually talk to them.
We have 8 viewers. Just saying.
Woohoo!
Yep.
That's a good number.
Hey, that's a good number. You know what? Tonight, okay, we're gonna get things rolling here. First of all, we're gonna pay some bills because we're gonna be drinking a lot tonight. So let's pay some bills very quickly, and then we're gonna get right into. We're gonna start with, I think, a pink gin because.
Oh, you want to skip right to that?
We're gonna skip right to a pink gin because we've never had one. I've never had one. Have you had one?
I don't drink gin.
Okay, so we're gonna go straight. We're gonna go straight to that. Because I want to feel what the English felt in England, in India, excuse me. And I want to understand where Cary Grant said, Gunga Din, you're a better man than I.
I couldn't tell you, other than the fact he was shot and I wasn't.
Was Gunga Din shot or was he stabbed?
I think he was shot and stabbed.
He was both, but he saved the detachment.
That's correct.
All right, so pay some bills first, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Fresh, organic, and homegrown. On the Horn. On thehorn.com.
All right. We're brought to you by, among others, Deepwater Seafood of Avon. Have you been to the only fish market in Farmington Valley? Deepwater is located on Route 44 and is open 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. One of the best things about Deepwater is their fish are fresh. Free deliveries daily to meet your needs. Deepwater has a menu of grilled fish items, scampi, fish and chips, soups, biscuits, and chowders for your catering needs, authentic paella, cedar plank, salmon sides, and always the traditional New England clam bake. Deepwater is also the purveyors of the very best, and I mean very best shrimp cocktail. You won't find anything better than that other than there. Call in your order at 860-676-9657, and they'll have your order ready for pickup when you arrive. Deepwater Seafood of Avon. Not just for the halibut. We'll be right back.
Budwitz & Meyerjack PC is a large Connecticut-based CPA firm with offices in Cheshire and Farmington, Connecticut. Large enough to handle engagements of enterprises with annual revenues in excess of $100 million, yet small enough to cater to smaller businesses and individual clients who expect personalized attention from partners and staff. Client service is the cornerstone of our practice. Our clients have a fixed fee for their audit and tax work. What this means to the client is we're approachable. Personal communication and client services make for strong relationships. Budwitz & Meyerjack, certified public accountants.
Sandits Travel for business and leisure. We'll take you there. Sandits Travel has been proudly serving Connecticut since 1960. That's over 50 years. And we're ready for another 50 years of superior service. Whether you prefer to come in, call in, or log on, we invite you to explore how efficient, diverse, and fun it is to book through Sandits Travel. Save your money and your time with us. Sandits Travel. We'll take you there.
And we are also brought to you by CentralCTDental.com. Doctors Camp, Sambor, and Lupini. For serious issues or routine checkups, go nowhere else. Easy to get to on the Farmington-Plainville line, or call 860-747-5761 or make an appointment online at centralctdental.com. And, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'm not sure that that's a
No,
good
we're not
idea.
back. Are we back yet?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, I can hear us now. I got to tell you, because we're going back way back into the 1800s here. Because I wanted to explore from the very beginning before I went further, is because on all the TV shows and all the black and white shows and everything that we saw, they always asked for pink gin. You know, I mean, and, you know, we're going to have our pink gin tonight, or we're going to order a pink gin tonight.
I first learned about this a few years ago, right before I moved up here, as a bartender in a nice little resort town. A guy that we just referred to as Captain, who sailed up and down the Chesapeake, sat down one night and asked for a pink gin. I had no idea what he was talking about.
Okay.
And so he said, get that bottle of gin, grab that bottle of bitters, come here. And that was the first time I'd had it. And it was the
that was it.
Yeah. It is
So-
gin and a few dashes of bitters.
So this is actually a pink cocktail here that we've got in our hands.
Now, there are some brands of quote-unquote pink gin out there, too. Rogue makes one out of Oregon, where they age it in Pinot Noir barrels. This is something completely different.
But this is what the English would probably have had, or close to it,
I guess if that was
back in India.
their taste profile, yeah.
You know, because, okay, we're substituting, everybody asked for Plymouth gin for their pink gin. I went online and I did a little research and stuff like that. We're using Booth because that's what I heard. That was the next step. It's either Booth's or Plymouth is basically at the same flavor profile. But, Elliot, I got to tell you came across the Bitter Truth here.
The Bitter Truth is a line of bitters that we carry at the store. They're imported through one of our wine distributors. And the story I got...
Not me, though.
Not you. No.
Okay.
You do Australia fine wine. This is definitely not Australian fine wine.
Okay.
The story I got, and it's been a while now since I heard the story, but what I got was it was a bunch of old bartenders that wanted to replicate the brands out on the market like Angostura and Peychaud's and all those guys. So they created an entire line. And what I have is just a little sampler set here. But
Can you buy the sampler set?
As far as I know, not here in Connecticut yet.
Okay.
I bought this in New York a while back.
All right.
But we carry each of the individual little flavors, and we sell a ton of this on the web.
Really?
They can't get it in like Florida and Tennessee and California. It's odd.
Really?
But we sell quite a bit of it on the internet. We sell more of it on the internet than we do physically in the store, which is weird.
So would you know, let me ask you, you know, this is a stupid question, but, you know, let me ask you, you know, I don't make cocktails with bitters a lot. I don't know anything about bitters. I don't know any of that stuff. Now, when I go through a cocktail book, whether it's, you know, the 2010's best cocktails of the year, or the vapor cocktails, or the this or cocktails, or whatever cocktails, are bitters becoming more and more part of everything?
Yeah.
Because you guys know. I mean, I don't know.
I believe we have 7 different types of bitters at the house right now.
And
Really?
Yeah.
Brian has been working his way through a vintage and classic cocktail book. Actually, is it the one put out by Classic and Vintage?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I just haven't been working through it. But
Do it sometime. It's fun.
So basically, you're
Lauren,
making,
he told me
all-
to.
So you're making cocktails with these different kind of bitters.
Yep.
And you're basically looking at this recipe and saying, okay, honey, we're going to try this tonight.
What we'll do is we'll look at what the base recipe was, and we'll try and get as much of that as we can. Some of the stuff just isn't made anymore. So you
Okay.
try and figure out what the flavor profile was, and you substitute it with whatever's out there available to us now.
Okay.
And then you just go at it. And then after that, you've got to try and figure out something else to do with, like, the bitters.
Okay.
So I bought, like, a chocolate mole bitters that's phenomenal with dark rum.
Chocolate mole.
Chocolate
Ooh.
mole that's phenomenal with, like, a Myers Dark, or just a really
Now,
nice
do you add a little
dark,
hot sauce to that
I
with
don't put
something?
anything in it.
No, really?
I just leave it as is. I love dark rum, so I just let it go.
Okay, we're gonna have a rum show coming up soon too. But okay,
That's
let's
rum
try this
drink.
pink. Now, so imagine yourself back in 1800s, Bombay, because it's now called Mumbai, but Bombay, India. You're hanging out. You're the British colonel, and you just got served this. Let me know your thoughts.
For not being a gin drinker, I think it's pretty tasty. It's light. It's refreshing.
I don't understand why the Rog isn't there anymore.
I don't think I'd drink this to save my life.
Really?
I agree with you.
I don't think I would drink this to save my life.
When I was...
Well, maybe to save my life. But.
I was going to say back when I was younger and drank a lot, but I'm older now and I drink more.
Details.
My buddies and I would all go into a bar on a regular night, and if it was the three of us, we all knew each other's drinks.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Chris always drank a double sapphire and tonic, and once in a while I'd say, "Let me try that. I want to give it another shot." And every time I hated it. And I think over the years, my problem is that I don't like the tonic water. I'm fine with the gin. I don't love the gin, but I don't like the flavor of tonic.
I gotta tell you, I'm not thrilled with it. I'm getting a sour kind of.
You want more bitters or more gin?
Well, the gin tastes better than the bitters, I think, because the bitters are kind of going.
I'm thinking that it's the bitters that are giving you the sour.
Yeah, I mean, does this quench your thirst?
Not for me. Also, something to consider when you're doing this particular drink. This is a shake the bejesus out of it.
True.
And strain. So it's not normally served over ice, and you would really, really shake the hell out of it.
Yeah,
like
but you still want it cold. You don't want to drink this warm now.
Oh God, no! I hardly want it cold.
Okay, my stomach would be over there. Dave over there.
Okay, that's not an image that I really wanted.
Saying. Because you gotta. Oh, Jesus, now I'm pouring it. But I mean, it looks pink. It looks nice. It looks pretty. I honestly can't see my mother, who's Scottish. I can't see her having this drink. Maybe I should call her up. Mom, call in. Say hello.
I want to try it with the Plymouth. I want to see what the original tastes like.
See if Di gives you anything on the thing. She liked it. She liked it a lot. So
why Di? Can you tell us why you like this?
She did say they would have been drinking it warm in India.
Yeah. So why?
And he still would have sucked.
The ice would melt quickly, if you know what I mean.
The pain.
You've tasted the pink gin with the Plymouth, right?
No.
Is this you haven't?
No.
Your wife said
your wife has.
No. Oh no. A sip, but it's
okay. So not well enough.
I wasn't going to sit and have a cocktail of it.
So Diane, tell me what was good about that Plymouth with the gin. Do me a favor. Don't chat. Call in, please. Can you do me a favor? Call in at 860-266-4676.
She said they tried it with Tanqueray, and Plymouth was so much better with 4 O's in the so.
And that is the recommended in the book. It says there is no substitute.
Interesting.
But see, I
vintage cocktail people.
Yeah, okay. So I went online and they said the booth was the same thing.
That's actually what I was starting to talk about earlier with the vodkas, where vodka, when it says a flavor on the outside, even if it's cherry, you know what it's supposed to taste like. With gin baffles me because Plymouth is a very distinct flavor, and Old Tom is a flavor, and Hendrix is a flavor.
Actually, the last little flavor here was kind of like okay.
Well, it's watering down
cherry.
a little bit.
Yeah, I got a little cherry flavor in it or something.
You're telling me it's growing on you?
No, it's definitely not growing on me. And anybody who wants a pink gin, please have it because I'm not.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a spit bucket? All right, we got a spit bucket. Thank God.
I'm in for that.
Tasha
All right,
says
do you want to throw a little dirge music in this one? Because we're giving let's take a little quick vote on a.
It ain't Amazing Grace. Let's put it that way.
Oh no.
This is empty.
Oh, Dave, the producer, decided to like it. Okay. I got to tell you, I'm going to vote thumbs down on a pink gin. Anybody else?
I'm in there with you.
Thumbs down. Thumbs up for pink gin.
I like it.
We got a 1 up. Oh, 2 up.
Okay.
So we were split on the pink gin. We do recommend that you find Plymouth gin because
and the recommended is also Peychaud. For your bitters.
Who?
Peychaud's is the
Peychaud's
recommended.
bitters.
Is the bitters.
What is Peychaud's bitters?
It's jolly good.
Just like gin, each recipe of bitters is very, very secretive. And so, Angostura bitters is Angostura bitters, and nothing else tastes like Angostura bitters. But I have an imitation of Angostura bitters, and that's what the Bitter Truth guys do.
Well, can you taste the two on your fingers and figure out which is which? Would you know the difference?
You would know by the color.
I'm not
There's
sure.
Oh, well, forget the color.
Yeah, just the color. And the taste is completely different.
Well, we just
They're not
used
even
was the imitation of the Peychauds. That's what I was told to use in place of the Peychauds, but
Okay.
it might be different with the
The
actual.
coloring is right. The smell is about as close as you're going to get without actually paying $14 a bottle for it. So, yeah.
All right. Cool.
That's the other thing.
But
with
you-
bitters. Bitters are really expensive.
Now, okay, so
Well, they're
but you
strong.
can make a pink gin at your store at Blackheart Sally's.
If I brought the Peychauds in from home, yes, I could do it. And I could also do. I would have to have the Plymouth. If I'm going to make it, I want to make it right. We don't use Plymouth. At
But
the
if a
store.
customer asks for one, you would say what?
I would probably try and do it with Bombay Sapphire.
Okay.
Otherwise, I know where you can get Plymouth gin.
Well, yeah.
Well, now,
Right across the street from Whole Foods.
But Elliot, now you would sell your store sells Plymouth gin and the Peychauds.
We have the full variety of the Bitter Truth. We get Peychauds occasionally, but not a lot of it.
So who can get that stuff to make a pink gin?
We do get it occasionally, but we just don't get as much as we used to.
Okay, because I got to
It's
tell you,
it's a distributor thing, from what I understand.
You know who? You know where you can find it? Stop
Where?
and Shop.
Stop and Shop.
Stop and Shop's where we got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just down the tonic and soda aisle, they have like mixers,
Yeah.
and we found it there.
Yeah.
All right.
They
We
put
found
the
orange bitters there too,
they put the 80 proof bitters right there with the mixers.
with the soda.
80 proof. Gotta love that. But it's not an alcohol, folks. Don't worry about it.
Really? Not at all.
No,
But-
you brush your teeth with this stuff. It's good for
But
you.
okay, Mom, I'm gonna bring you a pink gin because
It's not good to threaten your mother like that.
I've got nothing better to do with my time, so why not? All right, so we've tried the pink gin thing here. What I wanted to do was kind of go softly into and then come back and actually, try the gins on themselves. But I wanted to get a little taste and flavor going through first.
Mm-hmm.
So before Ellie, before you go to the next one, Birch Hill Tavern decided to make us a cocktail tonight.
Really?
Yeah. Birch Hill Tavern, those guys are great. It's part of Two Hopewell. They're awesome. If anybody wants a great menu, great food, good bartenders, good waitresses, go to Birch Hill Tavern. I got to tell you, they rock. But they told me to try something, and of course I forgot the name of the cocktail. Hot Point, Hot Shots, Hot something. It's going to go on the menu. Basically what it is it's a brand new gin called Ambler. Do you know an Ambler?
Smooth Ambler.
Smooth Ambler.
It's made by Greenbrier, I think, or some. I'll get it in a second.
Okay, but the Smooth Ambler, I got to tell you, I had it on the rocks. I was not impressed with it on the rocks, and that was just my opinion. It kind of tasted like a vodka more than a gin. It didn't give me what I used to think about what is gin. But then the bartender, Jon Lynch, said to me, he said, "Chris, try this." And then Bill Driggs came over and said, "Hey, Chris, you really got to try this Ambler stuff because it's really good."
And the next thing you know, you were trying Ambler.
Well, they gave me a little shot of it and said, "Try it and see what I thought about it." And
And the survey said?
survey's still hanging out there, to be honest with you, because
Really?
and I love those guys, and I
Because usually you're pretty good at, like, making a decision.
yeah.
Thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right, but I admire their tastes and I admire their things, and both of them said, "Chris, you got to try this because this is going to be the hot new thing."
Smooth Ambler is the name of the producer. The gin itself is called Greenbrier. I had it backwards.
Okay.
If I
It's
remember
like
this,
the Greenbrier Resort in Virginia.
sure.
Just say yes.
If I remember this gin correctly, it was really like citrusy, like really lemony.
See, that's what they said, but you know what? I had, and okay, that was my biggest problem. I probably had I had a bond before that, which was,
Yeah.
I had a 1 part sapphire, 3 parts Kettle One, little vermouth, and a twist of lemon in there.
Okay.
So that probably changed my flavor profile in the whole process. But so I didn't really get a lot of that citrus flavor. So, but John the bartender, Jon Lynch over there, he's a great bartender over at Birch Hill Tavern. He and Sean down at Two Hopewell, they came up with this concoction. So let's try this concoction and see what it's all about. Apparently, let's figure out the flavors in there because I forgot them already. I'm a great plugger, aren't I? Yeah.
I'm not saying a thing. I'm just
you
not.
got it. Okay, it looks kind of like a snake bite.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what a snake bite is? No, nobody knows what a snake bite is.
Oh, I know what
Well, there's Yukon Jack and lime juice, and then there's the cider and something else, but I don't remember which you're
cider
talking
and beer.
Okay, my
Right.
wife just texted me from the Jimmy Buffett concert. Said acoustic episode, so flippin' fun.
Okay, we're jealous.
Okay, I'm gonna write Yahoo. We're drinking gin. We are drinking gin. Let's see. Hear that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see if it says gin. Good for you. Have fun. Keep smiling.
I'm glad he texts fast.
Was that a good fast text?
That was
pretty
that was
fast.
huge.
Really? I'm getting there. Okay, so
Fastest thumb in the
did we
West.
shake this up a little bit?
I give it a stir. You can use my swizzle stick if you
Oh,
like
I
it.
love swizzle sticks.
Ah,
Would you like a swizzle stick?
no.
I chew on my pen, so we're all good there. Okay, so this is out of the Birch Hill Tavern, out of East Glastonbury now. Tell me what you guys think.
I'm getting a significant amount of the citrus right on the nose.
See, I'm getting citrus now, big time.
Yep.
This
you just
is
needed something a little pink to mellow out your palate.
I love pink.
What's interesting is that when you first bring it up to your nose, my nose had the same reaction that it does to tequila.
Let's call the Birch Hill Tavern while we're talking. You guys talk for a second.
Is there Saint Germain in this or no?
No, there is no Saint Germain in this.
There's the color and there's a little bit of the same taste.
All right, let's see if we can Google these guys and get them on the phone. What do you think? But you guys talk for a second. I'm hanging out here.
Talk amongst yourselves.
For somebody who doesn't like gin drinks, I think it's pretty good.
This isn't a bad drink, is it?
I wouldn't order it because I'm not a gin person, but I would recommend it to somebody who likes just a good solid cocktail.
When the salesman brought this gin around, they actually brought this one and the other one that's in the bag tonight, and like 4 other products, and I thought this was one of the weirdest gins I'd ever had because it wasn't.
Yeah, hey, it's Kristen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Hey, you're actually live on the radio, by the way. Yeah, that's always a good thing, isn't it? I understand that. Can you do me a favor? Yeah, can you do me a favor? Can you patch me through to John in the bar?
John?
Yeah, at the bar.
At the bar?
Yeah, that would be great if you could do that.
You'd like to speak with him?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Hold on a
Thanks.
second.
I think telling her that she was on air probably threw her for a little bit.
Yeah,
of
but
a
you got to
loop.
tell them that they're on air, right?
Well, technically,
I don't
They're
have to.
not.
Really?
they're being broadcast over the internet, but they're not on the radio, on air.
Really? Well,
Just saying.
so technically we can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, and given what the Supreme Court did to the FCC last week, we pretty much can, regardless.
I love that. So we're trying to get Jon Lynch is the bartender over at Two Hopewell. So they're trying to get him now on.
Oh, John.
Sounds like there's a couple people there.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Hey, it's Chris. You're on the air.
Hey, what's happening?
Not much. How you doing? Say hello to everybody.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey, I say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, John.
Hey, John. I obviously me. It's I screwed up and da-da-da. Tell me about your cocktail that you guys made here that we're drinking right now.
It actually just went on the menu today. It's made with a Smooth Ambler gin, which is like a citrusy gin. Like you explained it today, it's almost got characteristics of like a citrus vodka, but it's still got the good gin herbs in it.
Yeah.
Mix that with some nice white grape juice and then a little splash of lemon lime soda. We call it the Shine Box.
So it's called the Shine Box. It's exclusively at the Birch Hill Tavern.
Yeah, it's just us doing it. I don't think I see it around.
And did you guys make this up?
Well, What was that?
Did you guys make this up?
I think it's something with Nantucket inspiration, like a lot of things in the restaurant.
Well, okay, so we're talking Bill Driggs and Nantucket and the inspirations that go from there. How are you guys doing up at the Birch Hill Tavern?
Doing good. It's quieted down a little bit, but we're still cranking out some dinners. Got a few people still hanging out at the bar.
Cool.
Doing good.
Is Adam around?
Adam went home for the night.
Wow. So it's actually a nice, relaxing evening for you. Because when I was there, it was not relaxing. When I was there, I couldn't get a seat at the place. Period.
Yeah, we were jamming when you were in, but quieted down a little bit, but we're still moving. It's still good.
Well, excellent. So can you do me a favor and tell that cocktail one more time on air?
Yeah, absolutely. We call it the Shine Box. It's got the Smooth Ambler gin. It's got a little bit of white grape juice and a little splash of lemon lime soda, and we serve it up nice and cold.
Excellent. Well, we're drinking it now, and we'll throw it out there and see what people think, and hopefully they'll come to the Birch Hill Tavern and have some fun.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in.
All right, you take care, boss. Bye-bye now.
Have fun, guys. All right.
So, what are we thinking of this cocktail?
I think it's good. Again, as somebody who doesn't like gin, I would tell people who like gin, well, first off, if you want something that's going to taste like gin, it doesn't taste like gin.
This does not taste like gin.
No, but it's just got a nice, it's got a good
It's like
flavor to
vodka, isn't it?
It has the aroma for me, though, of a tequila.
So you got a tequila. I got a vodka out of it.
I got the citrusy and sort of light vodka nature too. I can see where you're thinking Saint Germain. I get that little bit of fruitiness to it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the white grape juice.
That's my guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But even when I drank it straight, I didn't get the gin characteristics out of it. I got a vodka characteristic out of it.
I get the finish of a gin.
You got the finish of a gin.
But coming in, it was like I was drinking a weak margarita.
Okay.
Okay. And that's the citrus and the grape juice combination. It's like triple sec and sour. So
I don't know. It's an interesting flavor. But I got to tell you, what do they call what's the name of this drink again?
Scheinbach.
A Scheinbach or Scheinbachs?
Scheinbach.
Scheinbach. And it had this, what kind of gin in?
Smooth Ambler.
Smooth Ambler. It had white grape juice and it
a
had
bit of lemon lime soda.
Lemon lime soda. It's refreshing, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a good summer drink.
Yeah, me hanging out by the pool, hanging out, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, here, can we do a little bit of the funeral dirge in a minute, and then we'll pay some bills. But, guys, if you want to call in or you want to talk to us, 860-266...
266-4676.
I was close. Come on.
Just
Give
saying.
me a little bit of a prayer here. 860-266-4676. If you haven't called in, come on, call in. If you have called in, talk to you soon. Hey, by the way, Tasha, we definitely want to talk to you because we're about to explore your cupcakes.
Oh, yeah.
So give us a call. Talk to you soon. All right, let's hear the dirge
dirty.
and let's hear some bangs of the bills. Thank you, sir.
A 21st century audio pioneer, Hartford Online Radio Network. OnTheHorn.com.
And we are also brought to you by Casa de Diana. Upscale dining and affordable prices. A local hangout where everyone is treated like family, professional and friendly staff, accommodating casual nights out, weddings, stag nights, fundraisers, and more. Casa Diana of Watertown. Diana Barbino. Check him out.
Budwitz and Meyerjack PC is a large Connecticut-based CPA firm with offices in Cheshire and Farmington, Connecticut. Large enough to handle engagements of enterprises with annual revenues in excess of $100 million, yet small enough to cater to smaller businesses and individual clients who expect personalized attention from partners and staff. Client service is the cornerstone of our practice. Our clients have a fixed fee for their audit and tax work. What this means to the client is we're approachable. Personal communication and client services make for strong relationships. Budwitz and Meyerjack, certified public accountants.
Sandits Travel for business and leisure. We'll take you there. Sandits Travel has been proudly serving Connecticut since 1960. That's over 50 years. And we're ready for another 50 years of superior service. Whether you prefer to come in, call in, or log on, we invite you to explore how efficient, diverse, and fun it is to book through Sandits Travel. Save your money and your time with us. Sandits Travel. We'll take you there.
Fresh, organic, and homegrown. On the Horn. On thehorn.com.
Okay, ladies and germs, we're going to have to do a quick changeover. This wonderful show, Wine Talk and Fun, has been brought to you by Gateway Financial Group, Sandits Travel, Sherpick Technologies, Budwitz and Meyerjack CPAs, Deepwater Seafood of Avon, and CentralCTDental.com. We're going to be right back with the Black Eyed and Blues Hour.